Hello all, this is Barbara Mann from Your Empowered You, and welcome to our video on Career Success Begins with Engaging Onboarding Plans. And in this video, we're going to talk about the importance of onboarding our new employees. We're going to talk about how it creates structure, how it sets expectations, how it allows our new employees to meet different people in the organization, how it helps them to understand the culture, how it helps them to understand the available opportunities in the company, and then we'll talk about some of the suggested items to include in the plan. So first and foremost, the onboarding plan is the first impression of the company. So the employee arrives, it's their first day, they say or walk to their new desk, and the equipment's all set up. The desk is organized. They have a welcome little basket there with maybe some goodies, maybe a welcome card signed by their entire team, whatever that looks like. But it helps them to feel welcome. And more importantly, they see that it's organized. So usually what's on that desk, on that organized desk, is an onboarding plan. But what it's communicating to the employee is that, one, I'm feeling very welcome and people are glad that I'm here. And number two, this company is organized. And so you're setting the expectation that you expect the employee to be organized. So whatever you want the onboarding plan to communicate, that's where it should be. So a lot of times onboarding plans include things like what the culture is all about, what the priorities are all about, who the leaders are, what are the expectations of the employee. And again, this is a strong message because it helps the employee assimilate to what's important to the company. But it's also indirectly setting the expectations back to the employee. We expect you to be timely because usually an onboarding plan has like a day planner of date and time and employee that they're meeting. So it's setting the expectations back to the employee of timeliness, of the importance of assimilation of culture, of knowing who the leaders are. And so it's really helping to alleviate that new employee anxiety on day one. So when you're new to an organization, you may not know the people in the organization, you may not know where you're sitting. So the more that you can do to alleviate that new employee anxiety, where their days are planned out, they know who they're meeting, when they're meeting, it really helps the employee to feel relaxed and feel welcome and feel ready to be engaged in the organization. So having exposure to different employees in different departments right out of the chute on the onboarding plan is really important. So it allows the leaders and co-workers to meet their new employee. So more importantly for the new person though, they understand like who the different leaders are, who their peers might be, who are people in different departments. So having an onboarding plan where someone can meet people in different departments is really critical because it helps them to understand the whole picture and not just their one little role. So when we do this and we allow people to meet as many people in the organization as possible, you start understanding what the company's all about, what the culture is all about, how their new role fits into the whole entire organization. So really they can start getting pumped up for when they're actually productive in the organization. Some companies, the culture is very important to the employees and especially to new employees to help them assimilate quickly. So an onboarding plan a lot of times includes, what's important to the company. And it may be that it's more the technical skills, and that's fine. Other companies have core values that are included, like 5 or 7 core values and a mission statement, and it's really exuding that the soft skills and the behaviors that support the core values, that's important to the company, and that's usually right out of the chute on an onboarding plan because you want the new employee to assimilate to what your culture is all about. That's really important to many organizations. But a good onboarding plan also helps the current employees in the organization. It creates opportunities for them. So you may have a new employee who's assigned a mentor, and it could be someone who's just a coworker. It may be someone in their team or outside their team. But it gives that current employee to be a mentor to a new associate, or maybe their coworker is assigned as the trainer for the new employee. Or maybe there's someone in a different department who's going to be doing a job shadow with the new employee. But again, it creates that opportunity for the current employees outside of what they actually do and be sort of the subject matter experts and give them those opportunities to shine to the new employee. So what are some suggested items to include in your onboarding plan? First and foremost, what you want to convey in terms of importance should be outlined before the day planner. So things like, who are the key personnel that a person should know about, such as who is their direct supervisor, who is their HR advocate, who is maybe the IT person, who's their assigned mentor and trainer. But anybody who is key personnel with their name, their role, and their phone number, so that somebody knows where to go in case they have an issue, that should be first and foremost. And then other things to include are the core values, the mission statement, the company branding initiatives, top leadership. Like maybe the top leadership isn't actually in the office, there's maybe a home office somewhere, but who are those key leaders? And in your own office, who are the key leaders? And outlining and seeing how all those layers of leaders, what does that look like? So people can understand, say if somebody visits or they see a video, they know who that is. It could include the actual training schedule. Now, we'll talk a little bit about what the day planner might look like, but it could include the training schedule and should include the training schedule, such as, is it in-person training? Is it video? Is it off-site? So it should include all of the training information on the onboarding plan. And then when we're not talking about training and you're talking about meeting new employees, a day planner looks good. And what people need to think about is this going to be for a week? Is this going to be just a day? Is this going to be a month sort of onboarding where they're meeting different people and training? It should include date, time, name of the person who they're meeting, title of the employee, and the role. So they know, they're very clear on, okay, I'm meeting, Johnny at 2 o'clock, who is going to be my mentor to help me with such and such, so that they're comfortable with whoever they're meeting, okay? It should include all of the necessary equipment that they may need. Maybe some is coming, it still needs to arrive, so that they're clear on what is coming to them, so they don't have to guess, like, okay, well, where is my, whatever key item they need. It should include some of the key meetings with date and time. So maybe their direct manager has meetings every Thursday at 2. Well, that should be on the onboarding plan. So again, it's outlining what the expectations are of the employee. Other suggested items are the company events. What are the big company events that everybody gets themselves around and they get excited? That should be included on the onboarding plan. What are some of the volunteer opportunities that are available to employees outside of their current job, such as the employee resource groups, the various employee councils that may be available? But those are some of the things that you want to get someone excited about, maybe not on day one that they're going to join, but when they get their feedback or their feet wet and they're comfortable in their position, just outlining some of those volunteer opportunities when they're ready. And what I used to do, and this is just what I used to do, I'm not saying that everyone has to do this, but I used to meet all of my new employees on day one. I thought it was really important that on their onboarding plan that I would set some time for an hour to meet with this new employee so that I could get to know them, they could get to know me, I could let them know what the priorities were of our operation, of our culture, of the expectations. And really what I was trying to convey as well was, I like to have an open leadership style. If you have any issues, please feel free to come to me. We're very open and transparent here. And, we're very accountable. So whatever the priorities were, I was able to convey that to the person to develop that relationship. And that's what worked. That's what I thought was very important for me. So on day one, I met all my new employees and I loved it. I loved meeting all the new people and feeling that excitement that they had. And I was excited. So it was all good. So let's wrap this up in a bow. So an onboarding plan is really, really important. It sets the tone for the new employee. It's the first impression of the company. It really helps alleviate that first day, first week, first month jitters, because it's usually a sort of detailed planner of what their training is going to look like, who they're going to meet, what this all looks like in a very detailed sort of plan. It helps them to meet coworkers, it helps them to meet leaders, it helps them to understand the culture, their role and other roles, and really see how everything is fitting together and assimilate to what's important to the organization. And it helps them understand very quickly what's expected of them. Everybody wants to be clear on what is expected of them, and a great onboarding plan helps to provide that clarification. So I hope you've enjoyed the importance of a robust onboarding plan and how important it is for the organization and it is for the employee. So for additional resources or to schedule a session with me, please visit my website at www.yourimpoweredyou.com or email me at bman@yourimpoweredyou.com, or feel free to give me a ring at 916-633-2555. And I thank you very much and have a very empowered day.